My kid, regard the admonition about the dim powers hiding in the shadows. Satan is a threatening presence, and his guileful snares might appear to be tempting, yet don't allow them to mislead your spirit. The fight among great and fiendish has been pursued since days of yore, and Satan's cleverness ways have captured numerous clueless spirits. Nonetheless, with my direction and insurance, you can explore through the obscurity and arise solid. Satan's domain is laden with enticement and double dealing, intended to steer off course the people who are not relentless in their confidence. Yet, dread not, for I'm with you generally, prepared to safeguard you from Satan's catches. Be careful Satan's cunning, for his allurements might appear to be innocuous right away, yet can prompt desperate results whenever surrendered to. Remain watchful and unflinching in your convictions, and you will defeat his evil plans. The way to honorableness is loaded with difficulties, and Satan will remain determined to wreck you from your profound excursion. However, with steadfast confidence and dedication to me, you can repulse his advances and arise successful. Try not to misjudge the force of Satan's impact, for he is an expert of trickery and control. Watch your heart and brain against his underhanded maneuvers, and let the illumination of my adoration guide you through the obscurity. Indeed, even in your most obscure minutes, recollect that I am dependably close by, prepared to offer comfort and strength. Trust in me, and together we will win over the powers of obscurity. Satan's domain might appear to be considerable, yet it fails to measure up to the unfathomable love and effortlessness I offer. Look for asylum in my hug, and you will track down safe haven from Satan's grip. Let not dread nor question cloud your psyche, for I'm the encouraging sign in the most obscure of evenings. With confidence as your safeguard and love as your sword, you will vanquish Satan's impact and walk the way of uprightness. Despite allurement, recollect that your spirit is valuable and deserving of salvation. Trust in my heavenly insight, and I will lead you away from the grip of Satan and into the radiance of everlasting salvation. My kid, I entreat you to notice my words and look for the light in the midst of the haziness. In the midst of vulnerability and affliction, go to me for direction and comfort, for I'm the encouraging sign that will enlighten your way. As you explore the tricky waters of life, realize that I am ever present, prepared to offer you my relentless help and shrewdness. Trust in my heavenly arrangement for you, and you will track down clearness in the midst of the tumult. Try not to let dread and uncertainty cloud your judgment, for they are the apparatuses of Satan used to mislead you. All things considered, place your confidence in me, and I will give to you the strength and fortitude to confront any test that comes your direction. In snapshots of sadness and uncertainty, recall that you are rarely alone. I'm with you continuously, murmuring inspirational statements and directing you towards the way of honorableness and salvation. Trust in my heavenly insight and embrace the excursion that lies ahead. However, the street might be full of hindrances and preliminaries. Realize that I am strolling close to you constantly, prepared to lift you up when you stagger and celebrate with you when you win. As you leave on this excursion of self-disclosure and profound development, recall that I am the wellspring of all light and truth. Look for comfort in supplication and contemplation, and let my heavenly presence make you exuberantly pleased with harmony and serenity. Try not to be influenced by the allurements of the world or the murmurs of Satan, for they are nevertheless momentary interruptions on your way to edification. Keep your eyes zeroed in on me, and I will lead you securely through the tempest. Trust in the force of confidence and the strength of the human soul. With unfaltering dedication and confidence in my heavenly arrangement, you will defeat any deterrent and arise more grounded and stronger than any time in recent memory. As you venture forward into the obscure, realize that I am your ardent psychic, directing you through the hardships of life. Trust in my adoration and allow it to be the directing power that leads you towards a more splendid tomorrow. In the domain of murkiness, where Satan sneaks and entices with commitments of force and delight, I ask you to proceed circumspectly, my kid. The powers of evil are shrewd and underhanded, trying to trap and ruin the unwary. Realize that Satan's murmurs are nevertheless deceptions, intended to steer you off course and plant seeds of uncertainty in your heart. Try not to capitulate to his allurements, for they are nevertheless brief joys that will at last prompt annihilation and misery. In snapshots of shortcoming, when Satan's voice becomes clearly and tempting, recollect the strength of your confidence in the force of heavenly love. It is through your relentless faith in me that you will track down the fortitude to oppose his enticements and arise triumphant in the fight against dimness. Go to petition and contemplation as your safeguard against Satan's intrigues. Let the radiance of my affection enlighten your spirit and oust the shadows of uncertainty and dread that take steps to consume you. Look for comfort in the organization of faith family, for in solidarity lies strength. Together, you can endure the invasion of Satan's assaults and arise more grounded and stronger than any time in recent memory. Recall that Satan goes after the powerless and the secluded, looking to take advantage of their shortcomings for his own benefit. Encircle yourself fully backed up by your local area, and together you can impede his abhorrent plans. Try not to be tricked by the appeal of common joys and the commitments of influence and wealth. Genuine satisfaction lies not in material riches or transitory delights, but rather in the harmony and happiness that comes from carrying on with an existence of temperance and uprightness. Remain cautious, my youngster, and stay enduring in your confidence. However the street might be long and full of hazard, realize that I am with you continuously, directing you with my heavenly insight and love. Eventually, it is your steadfast confidence and dedication to me that will win over the powers of haziness. Trust in my heavenly arrangement for you, and together we will beat all obstructions and arise triumphant in the everlasting battle among great and wickedness. In the profundities of your spirit, where light and murkiness entwine, lies the landmark where the powers of good and fiendish compensation their timeless battle. It is here, in the deepest openings of your being, that you should face Satan and his underhanded ways. Realize that Satan goes after your shortcomings and frailties, trying to take advantage of them for his own malicious purposes. He murmurs falsehoods and misleading statements, enticing you with commitments of force, delight, and common achievement. In any case, don't be bamboozled, for Satan's commitments are nevertheless deceptions, veiling the real essence of his aims. Behind his honeyed words lies just void and misery, driving you further away from the way of nobility and into the obscurity of wrongdoing. To oppose Satan's enticements, you should initially grasp the wellspring of his power. He benefits from your feelings of trepidation and questions, utilizing them to subvert your confidence and sow disagreement inside your spirit. In any case, dread not, for you have the solidarity to beat his impact. Go to me in supplication and contemplation, and I will allow you the boldness and shrewdness to deal with Satan directly. With my heavenly direction, you can perceive truth from misrepresentation and transparent Satan's dishonest facade. Depend on the force of your confidence to protect you from Satan's assaults. Let the radiance of heavenly love enlighten your way and expel the shadows of uncertainty and dread that take steps to consume you. Encircle yourself fully, supported by your friends in faith, for in solidarity lies strength. Together, you can tolerate firming against Satan's plans and arise successful in the fight for your spirit. Recollect that Satan's impact is most grounded when you are at your most vulnerable. Watch your heart and brain against his treacherous murmurs, and stay immovable in your obligation to nobility and ethicalness. However Satan might entice you with commitments of impermanent delight and satisfaction, realize that genuine satisfaction comes from carrying on with the day-to-day existence lined up with heavenly will. Trust in me, and together we will defeat the powers of haziness and usher in another period of light and goodness. In the turbulent excursion of life, you will experience heat difficulties and snags that look to mislead you. Among these, Satan's catches are maybe the most guileful, prowling in the shadows and going after your weaknesses. Yet, dread not, for you are in good company in your battle. I'm with you continuously, looking after you with adoration and empathy. In the midst of preliminary, go to me for strength and direction, and I will light your way with the splendor of heavenly truth. To beat Satan's allurements, you should initially perceive the truth about them. Tricky snares intended to trap your spirit and lead you away from the way of exemplary nature. Whether it be the charm of riches, influence, or taboo joys, Satan will remain determined to redirect you from your profound excursion. Yet, recall, you have inside you the ability to oppose enticement and win over evil. By developing areas of strength for a compass and steadfast confidence, you can defeat Satan's plans and arise triumphant in the fight for your spirit. Remain watchful and monitor your heart against Satan's wiles. Arm yourself with the defensive layer of uprightness and the blade of truth, and you will be impenetrable to his underhanded plots. Look for comfort in supplication and contemplation, for in fellowship with me, you will track down the solidarity to endure even the most imposing of enticements. Let the radiance of heavenly love sparkle splendidly inside you, banishing the murkiness of uncertainty and dread. Encircle yourself with prudent organization and draw motivation from the existences of the holy people and sages who have strolled the way before you. Their model will act as an encouraging sign in the midst of dimness, directing you nearer and nearer to the light. Realize that Satan's impact is brief and vaporous, while the prizes of uprightness are timeless. Remain consistent with your convictions and convictions, and you will rise up out of the cauldron of allurement more grounded and stronger than at any other time. Eventually, it isn't the preliminaries we face, yet the way in which we answer them that characterizes our personality. Take the way of honorableness, and you will stroll in the radiance of heavenly beauty, everlastingly safeguarded from the obscurity of Satan's domain. In the profundities of your spirit, you might feel the pull of enticement, asking you to surrender to Satan's charm. It murmurs sweet commitments of joy and power, tempting you with momentary enjoyments that at last lead to void and misery. Yet, know this, Satan's commitments are nevertheless deceptions, hidden in misdirection and lie. Behind their enticing exterior lies just murkiness and obliteration, taking steps to immerse your soul in a chasm of gloom. Try not to be influenced by Satan's finesse words, for they are nevertheless unfilled commitments that lead to destroy. All things considered, grip to the reality of your own inward light, an encouraging sign that sparkles brilliantly even in the most obscure of times. Transcend the enticements that look to entrap you and embrace the way of honorableness and ideals. Allow your activities to be directed by affection and sympathy, and you will track down strength even with misfortune. Keep in mind, you are not feeble in that frame of mind of enticement. You have the ability to pick your own fate, to fashion a way of uprightness that prompts a more brilliant tomorrow. Look for shelter and petition and reflection associating with the heavenly presence that stays inside you. In snapshots of uncertainty and vulnerability, let your confidence be your directing light, enlightening the way forward with clearness and reason. Try not to vacillate in that frame of mind of affliction, for Satan's hold is feeble within the sight of steadfast confidence and assurance. Trust in the force of goodness and truth, and you will arise triumphant in the fight for your spirit. Cling tightly to your convictions and never falter in your obligation to exemplary nature. With each step you follow on the way of excellence, you debilitate Satan's hang on your entire being. Realize that you are never alone in your battle against allurement. I'm with you continuously, offering direction and backing as you explore the hardships of life. Together, we will conquer Satan's catches and arise more grounded and stronger than at any other time. Even with enticement, it is normal to feel overpowered and unsure. However, don't surrender. Recall that you are in good company in your battle. Endless others have confronted comparable preliminaries and arisen successful. Draw strength from their accounts of win and diligence, realizing that you also have the ability to survive. Search out the help of believed companions and friends and family who can offer direction and support en route. Encircle yourself with positive impacts that elevate and rouse you. assisting with supporting your purpose in snapshots of shortcoming. Find proactive ways to shield yourself against enticement, recognizing triggers and executing techniques to keep away from them. Whether it's restricting your openness to specific conditions or rehearsing care strategies to remain grounded, find what turns out best for yourself and stick to it. Stay watchful and mindful of the unobtrusive murmurs of enticement that try to steer you off course. Develop mindfulness and thoughtfulness, tuning into your internal voice to perceive among good and bad, and pursuing decisions that line up with your qualities and standards. Remain fixed on your objectives and desires, keeping sight of the master plan in any event when confronted with impermanent difficulties or difficulties. Picture your prosperity and draw inspiration from the vision of the individual you try to become, allowing it to direct you forward on your excursion. Embrace the force of absolution, both for you and others, perceiving that we are flawed creatures fit for committing errors. Relinquish responsibility and disgrace, delivering the weight of past offenses and pushing ahead with a recharged feeling of direction and assurance. Most importantly, trust in the innate decency of your heart and the flexibility of your soul. Realize that regardless of how impressive the difficulties might appear, you have the strength and mettle to conquer them. With confidence, tirelessness, and resolute assurance, you can transcend enticement and arise more grounded, smarter, and more enabled than any time in recent memory. In the midst of uncertainty and vulnerability, mooring yourself in confidence and confidence in a higher power is fundamental. Permit yourself to give up to the heavenly insight that aids and supports you, realizing that you are never alone on your excursion. Embrace the examples and potential open doors for development that difficulty presents, perceiving that difficulties are much of the time mask surprisingly good developments. Trust during the time spent life and have confidence that everything occurs for an explanation in any event when the way ahead appears to be muddled. Track down comfort in petition and contemplation, developing a profound association with the heavenly and drawing strength from its boundless well of adoration and sympathy. Permit yourself to be wrapped in the heavenly presence, tracking down solace and consolation in its unflinching help. Discharge the need to control results and give up to the heavenly will, believing that it realizes what is best for you. Relinquish connection to explicit results and open yourself to the boundless potential outcomes that anticipate, realizing that the universe plots in support of yourself. Practice appreciation for the favors that encompass you, even amidst testing times. Develop a feeling of gratefulness for the overflow in your life, zeroing in on the good perspectives and permitting them to elevate and rouse you. Look for direction from profound lessons and sacred texts that reverberate with your spirit, drawing insight and motivation from their ageless insights. Permit their words to enlighten your way and guide you toward more noteworthy comprehension and illumination. Find people, group, and cooperation with similar people who share your profound convictions and values. Encircle yourself with positive impacts that elevate and motivate you, cultivating a feeling of association and having a place on your otherworldly excursion. Most importantly, trust in the innate decency of the universe and the heavenly arrangement that unfurls flawlessly and accuracy. Have confidence that everything is unfurling precisely as it ought to, and that you are constantly upheld and directed by the caring hand of the heavenly. In the midst of unrest and vulnerability, it is not difficult to neglect to focus on the heavenly presence and become consumed by dread and uncertainty. Nonetheless, it is unequivocally during these difficult minutes that our confidence is scrutinized and our association with the heavenly is generally pivotal. When confronted with difficulty, it is critical to recollect that the heavenly is consistently with us, offering direction, solace, and strength. By going to supplication and reflection, we can develop a more profound association with the heavenly and draw upon its boundless insight and love. In snapshots of uncertainty, we can look for comfort in the lessons of profound messages and sacred writings, tracking down motivation and direction in their ageless insight. These hallowed texts offer significant bits of knowledge into the idea of the heavenly and the motivation behind our reality, assisting us with exploring life's difficulties with elegance and strength. It is likewise vital to encircle ourselves with a steady local area of similar people who can offer support in an otherworldly direction. By imparting our encounters and bits of knowledge to other people, we can draw strength from each other and develop our association with the heavenly, as well as looking for help from others. Developing an active self reflection and introspection is significant. By setting aside some margin to calm the brain and stand by listening to the internal voice of intelligence, we can acquire lucidity and knowledge into our conditions and find the direction we really want to explore life's difficulties. Eventually, the way to discovering a lasting sense of harmony and comfort in the midst of strife lies in giving up to the heavenly will and confiding in the inborn decency of the universe. By relinquishing the need to control results and embracing the progression of life, we can discover a sense of reconciliation and happiness amidst vulnerability. As we give up to the heavenly will and confidence in its directing hand, we can find solace in the information that we are never alone on our excursion. The heavenly is generally with us, offering backing, direction, and love constantly. In the summit of our profound excursion, we come to understand that the heavenly presence isn't discrete from us yet as a characteristic piece of our being. As we search this reality, we experience a significant feeling of solidarity and unity with all of creation. This acknowledgement changes our impression of ourselves and our general surroundings, permitting us to see past the restrictions of our self-image and interface with the more profound substance of life. We come to comprehend that we are otherworldly creatures having a human encounter and that our real essence is unfathomable and timeless. With this recently discovered understanding, we embrace existence with the feeling of worship and appreciation, perceiving the heavenly excellence and the intelligence that penetrates each part of presence. We see the heavenly presence reflected in the excellence of nature, the thoughtfulness of others, and the snapshots of effortlessness that enlighten our lives. As we extend our association with the heavenly, we observe that our activities are directed by affection and sympathy, and we become vessels for the heavenly to manage us. We are roused to live with reason and significance, adjusting our will to the heavenly will and serving the most noteworthy great of all. In this condition of heavenly arrangement, we experience a significant feeling of harmony and satisfaction, realizing that we are precisely where we are intended to be and that everything is unfurling as per divine arrangement. We give up to the progression of life, confiding in the insight of the universe and permitting ourselves to be conveyed by its flows. As we embrace our heavenly nature and give up to the heavenly will, we become channels for affection, recuperating, and change on the planet. We transmit the radiance of the heavenly in any place we go, elevating others and making a far-reaching influence of energy and recuperating on the planet. Eventually, our otherworldly excursion isn't tied in with arriving at an objective, however, but embracing the actual excursion and giving up to the heavenly unfurling of life. It is an excursion of self-revelation, development, and development, directed by the caring hand of the heavenly constantly. May you walk your way with mental fortitude and elegance, realizing that the heavenly is generally with you, directing and supporting you in each second. Trust in the insight of the universe, and let your heart be radiant as you explore the consecrated excursion of life. As you set out on the following section of your excursion, may you convey the insight and adore you have gotten in your heart. Recollect that you are rarely alone, for the heavenly presence is dependably with you, directing and supporting you constantly. May you stroll with boldness, effortlessness, and modesty, realizing that you are dearest offspring of the universe, deserving of the multitude of favors that life brings to the table. May you find strength in the midst of misfortune and bliss in the midst of festivity, realizing that each experience is a chance for development and learning. May you forever be consistent with yourself, respecting your exceptional way and reason in this world. Also, may you always remember the force of affection, for it is the best power in the universe and the wellspring of all mending and change. As you bid goodbye to this hallowed space, realize that it will constantly be hanging around for you, a safe haven of harmony and light amidst life's difficulties. What's more, may you convey the illumination of the heavenly inside you, sparkling brilliantly so that all the world might see. Once more, until we meet, may you be honored with overflow, bliss, and love in all that you do. Goodbye, darling, and may the excursion ahead be loaded up with amazement and excellence beyond anything you could ever imagine.